amount of protein.
How do we fit all that protein in?
It's a protein.
Protein.
Best protein.
Hello gym friends, have you ever wondered what the role of protein is when it comes to gaining muscle or losing weight? Have you ever looked at your gym bro friends and are like, yo dude, why are you drinking that protein shake? Or why are you so hyper focused on your protein intake? Can I really even know why protein is one of the main things that we eat? That is what we are going to be talking about in today's video. I feel like protein is a word that we hear all of the time, especially in the fitness industry. If you like going to the gym, if the gym is your thing, if you're a gym bro, talking to you. I feel like we just hear proteins all the time, but do we really know what they are and why they're helpful? What they do, why they're important, why do we eat them, okay? That is what we're here to talk about today. And this is just gonna be one video of a 3-part series. I'm gonna be going into all of the macronutrients. What are they? Why do you need them? Why are they important? What do they do for you? That kind of thing. So if you really wanna go see those videos and join our incredible community here, don't forget to subscribe and give me a big thumbs up to let me know that you like this video. So before I get into it, the things that we're gonna be talking about in this video are what is protein, what are amino acids, why are they important, how does protein correlate to weight loss and muscle growth, how does it work, is there such thing as too much protein, and how do we track our protein? What's the best way to do it? So let's go right into it. So protein is really cool because it's actually majority of what you and I are, which I just think that's crazy. So you and I are made up of water, fat, and protein. A high percentage of that is protein, which is just incredible. So if you look even further into that, if we look at our muscles are made up of 80% protein, the rest of that being predominantly water. Guys, whenever I say muscles, I just imagine like you guys, all my gym friends, that light bulb goes in your head and you're like, paying attention, muscles, tell me, I want them. I pretty much do that, so I'm just imagining you guys do that with. I listen intently when I hear that word, okay? So protein is one of 3 macronutrients, the rest being carbohydrates and fats, and macronutrient is just a form of energy or nutrients that we eat in or use in a large amount, and those are all of our energy intakes: protein, fat, and carbs. What does protein actually do? First thing, there's 3 main things we're gonna talk about. First thing is protein is very important for cell, tissue, muscle synthesis and repair. So whenever we go to the gym and we work our muscles, part of what we want to happen is repair to our muscles. We work something, they're really worn out, and now we need to repair them. Proteins are a huge player in repair and synthesis of that muscle itself. Second thing that protein really does a lot is the synthesis. I cannot talk. The synthesis. You say that 3 times. Synthesis. I can do it. Okay. The synthesis of hormones and antibodies, among with other things, but hormones and antibodies, also transporting other things through the body, such as lipids and calcium. And the third thing that protein can do, as I kind of mentioned a couple seconds ago, was protein can be used as energy when there's not enough carbohydrates or fats. Basically all of your macronutrients can be broken down to use in energy. The main forms of energy that our body likes to use are carbohydrates and fats, because protein is essential for synthesis and repair of muscles. We want to make sure that we're intaking enough energy, intaking enough food, caloric intake, so that all the protein that we eat can be used predominantly for the repair and synthesis of muscle instead of being turned into energy. We want to grow our muscles, baby. So that leads me to what the heck are amino acids? And I feel like the first thing you thought of actually was the supplements amino acids that you just see everywhere, that everyone's like, oh my god, you need to buy these, buy them, buy them. That's actually really funny because you can get all the amino acids you need throughout a healthy and balanced diet. Let me just break down amino acids real quick. So amino acids are the backbones of proteins. When the body ingests proteins, it breaks it down into amino acids. And that is what is used for the synthesis and repair of muscles, tissues, everything I just talked about before. It's amino acids. There are 20 amino acids, 11 of which our body produces naturally, so we are just good to go there. And 9 of them are called essential amino acids, which means we have to take in those amino acids via our diet. We need our diet to get those. So that's what I mean when I say like you can get all of your amino acids buy a healthy and balanced diet. You do not have to get the supplements. If you don't have a healthy and balanced diet, you know, maybe that would be beneficial, but you don't have to buy anything. That's kind of the general rule of supplements. If you're eating good, you don't have to buy anything. So to break down amino acids a little bit further, we have something called complete proteins and incomplete proteins. All of this means is that complete proteins have all 9 essential amino acids that you need, and incomplete proteins do not. So what does this look like exactly? Well, in terms of food, most meat products, meat sources are gonna have all of your complete proteins. All of your amino acids are sitting in there. For my vegetarian and my vegan friends, unfortunately that is an incomplete protein. All of the, you know, veggies, beans, legumes. Those are incomplete proteins, but by eating a variety of those, you are gonna actually get a complete protein by eating a lot of different things like that. So don't sweat it, we'll all get there to a complete protein. Why is this important? Proteins and amino acids are principally used to augment muscle size and recovery by increasing rates of something called MPS, or muscle protein synthesis. Okay, I'm gonna just tell you right now, I'm not gonna get to say that correctly. Muscle protein synthesis is a process by which new muscles are formed and muscle grows and repairs at the molecular level. This is a good thing for all of my gym friends who wanna grow big, strong muscles. You need to be friends with MPS, which means you need to be hitting your protein intake. We'll get into that later. There are 2 main factors for MPS to occur. One of them is the presence of leucine, I believe it's called, that's how you say it. Leucine is an amino acid, and the other one is for us to be hitting our protein intake and caloric intake. There needs to be enough energy for MPS to occur. So I guess throughout this whole thing, I hope you guys are seeing that we need to be fueling our bodies properly in order to gain muscle. One way that you can fuel your body and help your muscles is through protein intake. I hope you guys are seeing this theme. Continuing. So we're gonna be looking into what is the role of protein with weight loss or fat loss and muscle gain. In situations where you're trying to lose fat or to lose weight, you have to be in a caloric deficit, and all of that means is you have to expend more calories than you take in. You have to burn more calories than you eat. What also usually happens with fat loss is that our body will shed muscle mass as well. And as you and I know, the more muscle mass you have, the easier it is to burn fat. And we don't want to lose that muscle mass. We worked hard in and out of the gym for that muscle mass, okay? We don't want to lose it. So one thing that can slow the rate of that muscle mass being lost is by making sure that you are hitting your protein intake mark. So what does protein look like in muscle gain? If your goal is to maximize muscle growth and recovery, you need adequate amounts of protein. The more that you exercise in any way, aerobically, anaerobically, any form of exercise means that you will need protein intake to recover your muscles. If you're looking at muscle growth or muscle recovery, it's just imperative that you hit your protein goal. How much protein you need is going to be very dependent on a lot of factors. With that being said, how much protein should you be taking? And before I get into that, I'm just gonna say here and now, I'm never going to tell you how much you should be taking individually. If you want individualized results, the only people you should be getting those from are certified dietitians and licensed nutritionists. Those are the only people actually qualified to tell you what you personally need. I'm just someone off the internet. I cannot tell you that. What I can tell you though is some of the science I found. As a general blanket statement, the recommended daily allowance for the average person is 0.8 of a gram of protein per kilogram of body mass. How much protein you actually need is dependent upon a variety of things: height, weight, gender, how much you exercise. I'll show you the National Academy of Sports Medicine. They posted this to have a little bit more accurate guide if you are a non-exercising adult, if you are an exercising individual, if you are doing resistance training, or if you are an endurance athlete. This is the amount of protein that they recommend you begin taking per day. One thing that I always hear too, and I just think this is so interesting because as a swimmer myself, my coaches always said this and I was like, that's really peculiar. One thing I always used to hear is that after your workout, there is a 20-minute time window in which you need to be replenishing your body full of proteins and carbohydrates so that you can have as much muscle growth growth as possible within that 20-minute window. It was like they were saying in this 20-minute window is whenever you could really get a boost on your muscle growth. Well, studies have shown that that's actually not true. While it's great to be taking in protein at any time of the day, and if you can intake protein in that 20-minute window, like might as well go ahead. But that window is actually around 24 or 48 hours after your workout. So if you can't get protein in that 20-minute time frame, don't sweat it. You got a lot longer than that. Just make sure you're fueling your body after your workout. And is there such thing as too much protein? So studies have shown that unless you have a pre-existing condition, such as, you know, a kidney condition or a condition that advises you to have lower protein intake, studies have shown that it is unlikely that there are going to be adverse effects to taking protein more than 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight. However, I have seen some differing studies on this. Some scientists, they believe different things. So I would challenge you, if you think that you're going to be intaking a high amount of protein, I would challenge you to look at the science yourself. Look at the studies and see what they say, and listen to the different scientists and their different opinions and the experiments that they ran. So last thing that we're going to talk about in this video is how can we track your protein intake? There are several free apps that you can get on your phone, and you can track your macros there. And the one that I downloaded is called Macros. It's a calorie counter. There's a free version, and you can input the food that you eat, and it will log the protein in there, so you have a better chance of reaching your protein intake if you actually know what you need to be eating, how much more you need to be eating, and if you're counting it like that. I know a really popular one is the MyFitnessPal app. However, I believe that's a paid version of the app. Another thing you can do is just keep a log in your head of what you ate that day, and then go online, literally type into Google amount of protein in XYZ food. That's kind of the way I do it. I don't count calories, so I just kind of check how much protein I needed to see that I was hitting my protein goal. And that is it for the video, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope that you found it helpful or beneficial to you in some way. Don't forget that the scientific links are linked down below. Go ahead and check those out, and I will see you guys next week when we talk about carbohydrates and why you should not be avoiding bread. See you later, my friends. Bye.